Hey everyone, and welcome to the VitaCast, episode 78. I'm your host, Tyler Oltoff, and the Canadian crazy person, Kyle Wakeling. What's up, Kyle?
Crazy person, eh, Tyler?
You can be crazy from time to time, right?
I don't know about that. I think I might be the most sane person around.
Debatable. Very
I don't know,
debatable.
man. I don't know. Might be a topic for another place.
Teasers.
We could have, yeah, we could have a long discussion on that. Who's sane and who's not.
Alright, we'll save that for later then.
All right.
Well, we're the VitaCast. We talk about the Vita, the PlayStation Vita, and all that loveliness. So let's talk about it, Kyle, right? That's what we should do, right?
Sure. Why don't you tell us what you're playing there, Tyler?
Ooh, I was going to throw it to you, but then see what you did there?
I see what I did there. I knew you were going to throw it to me because you're a dick like that.
Crafty. Very crafty.
Indeed.
You should host your own show with that craftiness.
Maybe I will.
Well, alright. I've been playing a few games here. The top two games I've been playing would be Sword Art Online Hollow Fragment and Lost Song. A little bit more of Hollow Fragment. I just beat the second boss in the Hollow area, and it was interesting. But that's all I'm going to say, because I don't want to spoil anything for Kyle. But yeah, I beat him, or her, you don't know, and am moving to the next area, and I literally just walked into the new area maybe like 10 minutes ago, before Kyle was ready to record, so haven't really explored much of that area. As for Lost Song, still pushing through a little bit, and I'm enjoying it. Haven't got too far, but yeah, totally different game than Hollow Fragment, so be prepared for that if you plan on picking up Lost Song, since it got, announced for a Western release. Also, I played a tiny bit of Operation Abyss New Tokyo Legacy. I think that comes out next week or the week after. I can't remember when it comes out, but it comes out soon. I haven't played very much of it, maybe like 20 minutes of it, and it's really not my style of a game. I really don't like first-person dungeon crawling games, and that's what it is. So I played a little bit of it and was like, meh. I might play a little bit more just to get a trophy, because I didn't get any trophies in the game. But other than that, it's just not something I care for. And then I think I played a little bit of MLB 15 The Show. I played one game and, broke my neck once or twice, but I think I won. Yeah. I was doing terrible at first. I was
Yeah,
down.
yeah, I won. Yeah, that's what happened.
That's my story. I'm sticking to it.
That's right.
But yeah, I was doing terrible at first, and then I think like in the 8th inning or something like that, I like just kept hitting like singles or whatever, and just everyone just kept going around the bases, and I was like, all right, here we go. And somehow I turned like a 4-0 loss into a like 10-4 win. So yeah, I think that's about it. What about you, Kyle?
All right. Well, I pretty much only played 2 games on my Vita this week, but lots of it. I played some Sword Art Online Hollow Fragment, and I just kind of wandered around, just trying to kind of figure out all the areas of the map kind of thing, like I did with the first kind of area. And I ended up kind of getting myself into some dumb situations and getting killed. Or, well, not me getting killed, getting Philia killed, who then, dead ends the game. So that was kind of a piss off. But other than that, I played some Ikiba's Trip, cleaning up some kind of side things that I had to do for some trophies, and just kind of enjoying it as I kind of bumble around and kind of, I don't know, be an otaku without any rules or anything. I don't know. Just gaming.
Yeah.
But even though I only played 2 Vita games, I did play something else on Vita, but not really on Vita. I remote played a whole bunch of Drive Club, just getting some trophies that I'd missed. And since I have remote play set up so awesomely, it plays so well, and I don't have to worry about lag or anything. So I'm just like, whatever.
Nice.
Drive. Yeah. So
Sounds
that's what I played on Vita this week.
Sounds exciting.
Indeed, indeed.
It's kind of been a slow week for us, I guess.
Well, yeah, like I haven't really touched anything new for a while. It's really backlog right now.
Right.
Um, yeah, just for me, nothing really huge has caught my attention lately. So I think that's it for me. I don't know what your issue is. You just don't like dungeon crawlers and new things that you get. So
Well, my phone broke a couple days ago, and I've been like annoyed with that, and I bought a new phone, and I'm loving it. And then my girlfriend actually, she wanted to get a new phone as well, so I was like, hey, just come on to my plan. Everything's gonna be fun. Well, guess what? It's not. Verizon has been pissing us off so much. We literally got her phone, and she can only receive text messages from me and anyone else that's on Verizon's network. She can't receive any messages from like T-Mobile, AT&T, any other customers, like anyone else, and that's like all her friends. So it's like, well, you can only talk to me. Uh,
that sucks.
yeah, so we went to the store or whatever, and we're like, hey, the phone's not working. And they're like, oh, okay. They went through all their whole bullshit. Like, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. And nothing worked. Not one thing. So, like, we think it's just our network is having a problem. So give it like a couple days. And if it's still not working, we'll swap the phone out for a new one. So we're like, okay. So we went a couple days. Still nothing going. Like, it's not working at all. So we went in today, actually, this morning, and the guy went through everything we already went through again. We're kind of just sitting there like annoyed, like, we already went through all this. You're not going to figure it out. And so he did all that. And then he's like, all right, we're just going to swap the phone out. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's why we came in here in the first place. And it still doesn't work. So we're pretty much done with that. And we're going to go in tomorrow morning and just be like, yeah, give us all our money back. Because you guys sold us a broken product, and we don't understand why this is so difficult for you guys to figure out.
Sounds to me like somebody doesn't know how to program a SIM card.
Well, they swapped out SIM cards as well, and the same thing, same problem. Doesn't make any fucking sense.
Well, if you program them wrong, they still aren't going to work. So that's what I'm thinking. Somebody just doesn't know how to program SIM cards. The guy's like, yeah, let me just hit some buttons and see what happens. Sounds about right.
Yeah, well, it's been a whole ordeal and a very frustrating ordeal. So
You've been
yeah,
too busy to game on your Vita.
yep, spending money on stupid things that aren't working and getting very stressful over little things that yeah. So tomorrow, hopefully, I'll fix that all up and
And
go.
everybody send Verizon your hate mail, care of Vita Lounge. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, I will. I am just not happy with them. Although I
Oh, well,
love my
I'm sure
phone.
you will have
I love my phone, which is nice, but if the girlfriend's not happy, then the stress starts to go towards you as well. So,
it.
yeah. Anyways, enough about cell phones and technology. Let's talk about reviews for Vita games that are awesome, maybe? Let's find out. Kyle, what are we reviewing first?
All right, so we've got two reviews this week. First up, we've got Lego Ninjago Shadow of Ronin, which was reviewed by Brad, and he gave it a 4.1 out of 5, saying, quote, Lego Ninjago Shadow of Ronin is a fantastic entry into the Lego series and should appeal to young and old gamers alike. The fully fleshed out story is, for once, easy to follow, and the heavy focus on combat makes it fun to control these nimble ninjas. If you're a LEGO fan who has been turned off by some of the recent games in the series, this one should make you a believer again. End quote. So, seems like high praise from Brad. Have you played this one, Tyler?
I have not. I've kind of, I think I've talked about it before in previous episodes where the Lego games can or have kind of turned me off. Like they've just pissed me off every time because they've been going down a route that I have not been excited to walk down. And yeah, I've avoided everyone. The next one I'm getting is the Jurassic World one because I just love Jurassic Park, and I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that they do this one good. So
Well, it looks like Brad's saying they did Shadow of Ronin quite well, so maybe that's something you should look for as well.
yeah, after hearing this, it's definitely on my radar.
So you've done well, Lego, to bring it back onto Tyler's radar at least.
But aren't these the ones that like aren't on consoles like this one and what is it that Chima, Legends of Chima? Aren't those ones like handheld exclusives?
I think Chima is. I'm not sure about this one, but yeah, I think anytime there's a handheld exclusive or a version specifically made for handhelds that's not like a cheapo, just get it on there version, they do quite well. So
Yeah. Yeah, like the, I don't know, the ones that they're like super focused on the console. It's always the handhelds getting just like, yeah, we don't care about you guys. It's on
I remember.
there.
I remember the last one you played. You were like, "Yeah, this is bullshit. I'm not playing this."
Yeah, I wasted $40 on that thing, and let's not talk about it. Yeah. So, anyways, there you go. If you're interested in Shadow of Ronin, go read the review. See if it interests you. So next up, we've got Badland Game of the Year Edition reviewed by Charlie, and he gives it a 2.9 out of 5. And he says, quote, in bringing Badland to consoles, Cloney, that's a weird name, Cloney and Co. make a flap for the big time, but unfortunately fall a little short. Frogmine saw great success on smartphones with this title. Unfortunately, this does not translate as well to the PlayStation Vita, end quote. And I feel like, last week we talked about this game, so I don't think you picked it up yet, right, Kyle?
I have not, and after that review, I don't think I will be.
Well, exactly. Same thoughts going through my mind. So yeah, read the review, definitely before picking this one up. Save your money maybe, but if you really gotta have it, it's there for you. So there we go. Those were your reviews for this week. Let's head into the new releases for the week. And do we already have them all, Kyle? Or
not all of them?
Not all the Europe ones?
Yeah, not all the Europe ones.
All right, cool. Well, person with those new releases, take it away. Hey everyone, Tyler here. Gonna bring you your new releases. So let's get right into it. First up, North America, we are getting Sparkle Unleashed, Super Exploding Zoo, and Tetris Ultimate. We are also getting some Plus games for free, and that would be Futuradium EP Deluxe and Super Exploding Zoo. There's also a demo for Sparkle Unleashed and some sales, PlayStation Plus sales, so go check it out. For Europe, you guys are getting a few here. First up, Operation Abyss, New Tokyo Legacy, but it is out on June 5th, so keep that in mind. You are also getting Sparkle Unleashed, Steins Gate, which is also out on June 5th, and it's not available in Russia or the Ukraine, so keep that in mind. As well as North America, you guys are also getting Super Exploding Zoo and Tetris Ultimate. And those PlayStation Plus games transfer over as well, so Futuradium EP Deluxe and Super Exploding Zoo is also free. There's also some DLC for Operation Abyss New Tokyo Legacy and some Telltale game sales, so check that out. And there you go, back to the podcast. Alright, thank you for those new releases. Kyle, any of these interest you? I know Super Exploding Zoo is free on Plus, so I'm assuming you queued it up, right?
No.
Ah.
Yeah, I had to put myself through the trailer a couple times when I did the video for this month, the preview video. So I kind of seen what this game is about a couple times over again, and I'm not really interested. It looks very, I don't know, something I would play once for 5 minutes and then never play again. So I might as well not play it.
I gotcha. I did download it. It's sitting on my Vita, but it's one of those things where, like, if I do play it, it's probably just to make a video for my YouTube channel, and then that's it. But do I really want to? Like, is it worth it?
Yeah. I'm thinking that it's one of those games that people are either going to, give it that 5 minutes and never play it again, or dip into it every 5 minutes. It's going to be one of those things, you either hate it or love it. And yeah, for me, it's mostly hate it.
Yeah. Well, what about the Tetris? Tetris is a classic game.
Tetris, I'm always interested in. It's one of those games I could lose myself in for hours. However, $14.99 for a starting price with no cross-buy means no buy right now, especially when that's coupled with the fact that there's no Vita, not Vita TV, PlayStation TV compatibility, and no local multiplayer without that PlayStation TV compatibility. So, meh.
Yeah,
I
not
don't
really
know.
selling you yet.
Yeah, they're just not offering me enough features and a good enough price to jump in right now, but I'm sure it'll be on sale sooner or later and I'll just grab it then because it's Tetris and I want it.
Yeah. Did they ever fix that glitch with having too many friends?
I don't know, although I heard that all the issues that were present on the PS4 version when that came out are fixed. So if that was one of the issues, then I guess so.
Well, hopefully, because that would suck. Because I have a lot of friends, but I haven't bought it, and I don't know if I will buy it. But if I ever did, I would be very disappointed to find out that I can't even play the game. So,
Indeed.
I guess let us know, people. Tweet us. Let us know if you can play that game with a full friends list, or close to full, I guess.
More than 100 people.
Yes. And then Sparkle Unleashed, Kyle?
Yeah, no. That's just not my kind of game.
I got you. Yeah, just same here. Doesn't grab me. Not my style.
Indeed.
So it's not really a good week for Kyle and I.
No, maybe if Tetris is cheaper, but other than that, to the backlog.
Yeah, that's always a good week though, and there's not really something that you're just like, oh, I gotta play it, and then you're like, wait a minute, that's just gonna add to my list.
And the rest of this month looks pretty full, so
Oh yeah.
I'm okay with a little bit more backlog until it hits.
Yep. It's gonna be a pretty full week or month. Well, all right. Also, wait, never mind. That'd be talked about in the new releases, so don't even worry about it. Kyle, Futuridium, are you gonna queue that one up?
I think I'm gonna queue it up. I don't know if I'm necessarily gonna play it, but it looks more interesting than a lot of the other kind of games that are like that. So, I might play it. I still gotta play Race to the Sun, and that one I actually want to play. So,
Yeah, I'm not really interested in Race to Sun, so Futuridium also kind of just is like, eh. I got it a review code from it when it first came out, and I still haven't even played it. So,
boo.
yeah, it's that backlog, Kyle, that we're talking about. It's intense.
It's real.
It is super real.
Indeed.
Well, all right. Let's get into the news. We've got quite a bit to go through, so let's steamroll right through this. First up, Extreme Dimensions Tag Blanc plus Neptune versus Zombie Army was revealed earlier this year, and since then, we haven't heard too much about it. However, this week's Dengenki PlayStation magazine in Japan has revealed the first story details of the game. The game takes place in a school that is in danger of being shut down. To try and prevent this, the students of the school decide to make a zombie movie to show that the school is still productive and try to help make the school more attractive for new students. The making of the zombie movie has somehow summoned actual zombies to appear and wreak havoc on the school, and Blanc, Neptune, and the other CPUs will have to work together to defeat them. The game will also support 4-player co-op, allowing players who own a copy of the game to join their friends in order to help take care of the zombie menace. We're still awaiting a release date for the title in Japan, but for more information on Extreme Dimensions Tag Blanc plus Neptune vs. Zombie Army, that is a long name, make sure you stay tuned to the Vita Lounge. Next up, Bandai Namco Games have announced their localized release of Sword Art Online Lost Song for North America and Europe. Woo! Here's the official description of the title from the press release. Quote, due out via retail and digital in fall 2015 with subtitles in English, French, Italian, German, and Spanish, with an original story based on the Alfheim Online realm, including new and returning characters and exclusive environments. Fans will be more than happy to spend more than 50 hours questing in the ultimate virtual reality universe. To make it even more exciting, Lost Song will feature all new aerial battles and plenty of customization features. End quote. With the fall release in the cards, us Westerners aren't going to have to wait long to enjoy Lost Song the way it was meant to be played. And next up, in other news, the release version of Sword Art Online Lost Song received an update yesterday in Japan, which contained a ton of new additions, one of which is Kureyokaheim from Cell World. The project author Dengeki Kawahara created prior to his work on SAO. Circumstances surrounding her presence in Svart Alfheim, the game's world, are not clear. However, the Dengeki article that niche gamer sources teases her meeting our favorite dual-wielder Kirito. Sword Art Online Lost Song is now available in Japan and Asia, with a Western release scheduled for sometime this fall.
Alright, moving on. A Tomei visual novel, Nor 9 Var Commons, is officially coming our way now, so if you're not in the know about the title, we're gonna have to fix that with Axis's official PlayStation blog description. Quote, while on a school field trip, child prodigy Surata Suzuhara wanders off after hearing a mysterious song and blacks out. When he comes to, he finds himself in an unfamiliar place, and soon encounters a girl who informs him that he's currently in turn of the century Japan. In order to help him get home, Surata follows her to a ship that she's waiting for, but when it appears, it is not a wooden sailing ship, but a round aircraft that flies using technology that is beyond Surata's imagination. Even stranger, he discovers that the other 12 passengers, 3 young women and 9 men, are all supposedly espers with special powers and are on some kind of journey at the behest of a multinational entity known only as the World. What is the purpose of their journey? What is their destination? Who is the World? Before Surata can even begin to take stock of his situation, the ship is attacked and the mystery surrounding the ship only deepens. Delve into the story of the ship and its occupants through the point of views of each of the 3 girls and unravel the mysteries trapped within. End quote. Nor 9 Var Commons promises to deliver a complex, diverging storyline with the fate of its lively characters lying in your hands. The question is, are you ready for it? It'll be available in the West sometime this fall, so be sure to check TVL for updates between now and then. Moving on, last week we brought you the news that Samurai Warriors Chronicles 3 would be arriving here in the West, and now Koei Tecmo has revealed the release date for both territories. As already known, Europeans will be able to get their hands on Chronicles 3 on June 24th via digital download only. However, it has been revealed that the North American release has now been set for June 30th. As we head ever nearer to those release dates, you can bet that TVL will keep you up to date with everything Samurai Warriors Chronicles 3, so stay tuned. And keeping on with that news, Loot Interactive announced that Back to Bed, a whimsical and surreal puzzler first released back on PC and mobile in 2014, is now headed to PlayStation Vita. Developed by Bedtime Digital Games, the game has a simple premise. You must make sure a sleepwalker named Bob makes it safely back to bed. To do this, you play as Bob's subconscious, who is known as Sub-Bob. To help guide him, you must rearrange objects to steer Bob through each level. The most eye-catching aspect of Back to Bed is its art style, which is inspired by the work of artists such as M.C. Escher, Salvador Dali, and René Magritte. Each world is made to look like a form of mystical dream world, and you'll find a whole host of peculiar objects scattered around each world, including giant eyes, alarm clocks with legs, and flying hats. Bob is in danger to himself while he slumbers, so you'll need to use items to block him from falling off the edge of the world, as well as moving objects around to strategically move him in the right direction. Are you up for it? Bob isn't, and that's the point. We await details of a release date, but so far we do know that the game will release on Vita, so keep an eye out.
Alright, next up. Hey guys, remember Assault Android Cactus? It's been a while since we've heard anything, but it looks like Witchbeam Studios have been using their quiet time wisely. Twin-stick bullet hell shmup, Assault Android Cactus puts players in the metal housing of a young combat droid named Cactus, making him work with other droids to back his ship gone wild from the now evil robot crew. With 25 levels and 5 massive boss fights, it's one to look out for. The best part, it's apparently locked in for a release sometime this summer. Stay tuned to the Vita Lounge for more on this game and as we learn it. And I'm pretty sure it's all girls, by the way, so that probably should be changed. But anyways, next up. The successful Kickstarter 2D horror game Tokyo Dark has a good chance of coming to the Vita, says developer Cherry Mochi. In an interview with Siliconera, Williams says, quote, "For the Kickstarter, we won't be adding any extra platforms as stretch goals. We'll be focusing on PC and Mac only. Our workflow is tried and tested, and we know we can bring a fantastic game to desktop." End quote. Adding later, quote, "Once Tokyo Dark is released on Steam next year, depending on sales and success of the game, we hope to use the profits to explore porting Tokyo Dark to the PlayStation Vita." End quote. Tokyo Dark has surpassed its initial goal of $33,000 and closes its campaign on July 10th. Though please remember that supporting this Kickstarter does not go towards a Vita stretch goal, but will go towards a successful PC run that may just give us that Vita version we've been waiting or wanting. Tokyo Dark is expected to release on PC and Mac in 2016 with a release elsewhere dependent on goals met. Next up, this fall you'll be able to dance as your favorite Persona 4 characters in Persona 4 Dancing All Night, and the physical edition of the game has now been detailed. It has been revealed that anyone who purchases the launch edition for $49.99 will receive a Persona-themed PS Vita skin, as well as 10 bonus wallpapers. However, if you're itching for more Persona, then the Disco Fever edition should be able to fill your needs. This $79.99 version of the game also includes the skin and wallpapers alongside 14 bonus DLC costumes, a song, a Teddy keychain, a physical 2-disc soundtrack of the game, and a double-sided PS Vita pouch. Persona 4 Dancing All Night can be pre-ordered via Alice online store now and will be available in the West sometime this fall. Are you ready for it? Oh yeah, I already pre-ordered it. Whoop whoop. So did Kyle, right, Kyle?
No, Tyler, no.
That special edition doesn't get you?
No.
You don't want
not
a Teddy
really.
keychain?
Eh.
A reversible PS Vita pouch?
Meh.
2 CDs?
Meh.
DLC?
Meh.
A song?
I don't get that part of song. What do you mean a song?
It says a song.
You're gonna write me my own song? Like, what does it give me? I don't get it. Anywho, moving on with the news, since I have no idea what's going on. In a recent interview with Dengeki PlayStation, Falcom president and CEO Toshihiro Konda revealed that a sequel to The Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel is in the works. Here's what Mr. Konda had to say, quote, "Although the release will be a little farther out, we're currently working on a sequel to Trails of Cold Steel where the stage is set in the Erebonian Empire," said Kondo. "However, the story is much more expansive than we imagined, and we're currently thinking about what to do with its volume." End quote. He also expressed interest in seeing a remake of The Legend of Heroes 2, Prophecy of the Moonlight Witch, but we'd advise you take that with a grain of salt. Exceed actually registered a domain for Trails of Cold Steel back in January, so we could see that one come to the West in the near future. But either way, we'll be sure to keep you informed. Next up, Idea Factory International has revealed the limited edition version of Hyperdimension Neptunia Rebirth 3 V-Generation, detailing its contents, pricing, and availability date. The latest entry into the Rebirth series of titles, this one sees Neptune take on an alternate 1980s theme universe, attempting to collect enough chairs of game industry to open a portal home while battling CPU-hating enemies. The $57.99 US limited edition's contents have been revealed to include the following, alongside a copy of the game. Hyperdimension Neptunia Rebirth 3 art book. Just looking at the beauty of Rebirth 3 characters on the screen might not be enough to fully satisfy your Neptunia love. But don't worry, we've got just the thing. With 42 pages of character art, illustrations, and more, this hardcover art book is sure to keep love going strong. We've also got the collector's box. Doll up your shelf with this sturdy telescope box. A Purple Heart and Iris Heart Irresistible Hearts mouse pad. It says capture Purple Heart and Iris Heart in this special artwork printed on a smooth 1/16 inch thick mouse pad. Their irresistible expressions might get in the way of finishing your work, so please mouse with discretion. Also, we've got a perfect a Purple Heart graphic papercraft figure. As if parallel dimensions weren't enough, you can now transport Purple Heart into our 3-dimensional world with this papercraft doll from Cospa. This has been specially reprinted exclusively for the Iffy's online store limited edition. Can't speak. And last up, we have the reversible case sleeve. Every gamer needs a snack break, and all CPUs are no different. Flip the case sleeve for some super cute Sunako artwork. Anywho, pre-orders for this limited edition opened June 5th at 6 p.m. PDT, and you can pre-order via the Idea Factory International online store. You can find the North American listing for that on the site, with the European listing going live on the 5th. Hyperdimension Neptunia Rebirth 3 V-Generation is set to release both digitally and physically on June 30th in North America, with Europe's physical release coming on July 3rd, and digital release following on the 8th. And moving on. A brand new release date and a trailer have been revealed for Demo: The Last Recital. The game now scheduled to Asian territories on June 24th, and the trailer available on the site. Originally said to be hitting sometime in the winter, Demo obviously didn't make that window, but the good news is that it's been dated to be releasing not too far into the future, so the wait is almost over.
Alright, next up. PEGI, the European Games Rating Board, made an interesting announcement earlier the other morning when it revealed that Civilization Revolution 2 Plus from Take-Two Interactive has been rated for the PlayStation Vita. Civilization Revolution 2 was released last year for mobile devices, and there has yet to be any official mention of a port of the game for the Vita. It's possible that the news of it coming was being held back as an E3 surprise, but if it is, the cat is out of the bag. Hopefully Sony or Take-Two Interactive will shed more light soon as to pricing, availability, and official confirmation of its existence. E3 is just a few weeks away, so we shouldn't have to wait too long. And in case you were wondering, the game was given a rating of 12 for a non-realistic looking violence toward human characters, whatever that means. Next up, Michael Todd was taken to Twitter to announce that his game Electronic Super Joy will be coming to PlayStation Vita as well as other consoles this September. This brutally hard platformer puts players in a world that is throbbing with pulse-pounding electronic music and platforming challenges galore. The game features over 45 different levels that offer up both changes in the environment, such as low gravity, to swarms of incoming missiles and deadly monsters. While the PS4 version of the game will be hitting retail shelves, the PlayStation Vita version will stay digital only. On the plus side, however, Mr. Todd has announced that the game will also be compatible with PlayStation TV. I keep mixing words up. I don't know why I'm doing that. Anyways, next up, Bandai Namco has announced a release date for the newest chapter in the One Piece Pirate Warrior series, and it's right at the tail end of their previous release window. Previously, we have mentioned that One Piece Pirate Warriors 3 had an August release date, but now Bandai Namco has announced that the Straw Hat Crew will be arriving on August 25th in North America and August 28th in Europe. Oh gosh, here we go. Are you ready?
I added that in there just for you, Tyler.
Well, thank you.
Moving on with the news. Don't worry, guys, we're over halfway. Xseed has announced their incoming localization of visual novel-style horror game Corpse Party Blood Drive. It was teased long time ago, twice actually, but now it's finally official. Corpse Party Blood Drive is coming west to North America, and it looks oh so sweet. Here's a bit about the game via Xseed's press release. Quote, "The final installment of the supernatural story that began with Corpse Party and continued in Corpse Party Book of Shadows, Corpse Party Blood Drive ups the ante by allowing players to explore Heavenly Host Elementary in full 3D for the first time, with all of its formerly 2D environments meticulously recreated and greatly expanded. New gameplay systems provide more exciting interactions for players experiencing the gruesome finale to this tale of an inescapable otherworldly school populated by vengeful spirits, including dynamic lighting system aided by in-game flashlight, talismans to protect the player characters from danger, deadly traps to disarm, cabinets to hide in, a stamina system that allows for limited dashing, and much more. Blood Drive will be brought over with the original Japanese voiceovers for authenticity and features the return of thematic features like binaural 3D audio for simulated surround sound and screen-altering darkening system. In addition, the game boasts 11 huge story chapters and 8 supplemental extra chapters, and for those who have been following the series all along, serves to cap off the Heavenly Host storyline with a bang, connecting the dots on old mysteries and revealing shocking twists you won't believe. But now to the good bit. Corpse Party Blood Drive is due to hit North America this fall and will be available both digitally and in a limited edition physical Ever After edition release. The limited edition release is said to contain a 2-disc compilation of songs and a dying art book with sourcing content from the entire 3-game series. Marvelous USA Executive VP Ken Berry had this to say about the announcement, quote, "We're confident in saying that we're just as thrilled to be making this announcement as North American Corpse Party fans will be when they find out that Blood Drive will be getting a physical release." End quote. As always, the Vita Lounge will be here to bring you any developments between now and the release date, including any news on a possible European release. But I have to ask, are you guys as excited as I am? See, I can't even get the words out. I'm that excited, you guys. Anywho, moving on. Xseed has made it a double announcement, as the second localization announcement in a row comes in the form of Earth Defense Force 2 Invaders from Planet Space. Originally released on the PlayStation 2 and later available on the PlayStation Portable, Earth Defense Force 2 Invaders from Planet Space is now set to hit North American PlayStation Vitas with developer-enhanced Vita-only features like 4-player online co-op, an entirely new Air Raider class, and even a new English voiceover. Here's a bit of information about the game, courtesy of Xseed's press release. Standing as a direct predecessor to the series' first North American release, Earth Defense Force 2017, known as Earth Defense Force 3 in Japan, and widely regarded by fans as the best entry in the franchise, Earth Defense Force 2 is making its way to Western Hemisphere for the very first time with this greatly expanded remake. In Earth Defense Force 2, Invaders from Planet Space, players will take on the role of one of 3 distinct military classes and fend off hordes of invading giant insects from a third-person perspective by way of conventional weaponry, armored vehicles, jetpacks, airstrikes, trip mines, energy weapons, and more. But now for the bit you've been waiting for, the release information. Earth Defense Force 2 Invaders from Planet Space is set to hit North America in both physical and digital copy sometime this fall. Marvelous USA Executive Vice President Ken Berry had this to say about the game's localization announcement. Quote, "We are incredibly excited to be publishing an Earth Defense Force title for the first time, one which has never been released on these shores previously. It is widely regarded as the series' best." End quote. That's all we've got for now, but as always, the Vita Lounge will be here to bring you any developments between now and the release date, including any news we receive on a possible European release. Alright, lots going on with Marvelous stuff because, well, that's who Xseed is. And moving on, Marvelous Inc.'s newest foray into the rhythm Vocaloid genre, can't talk, has been delayed once again in Japan. Originally slated to hit the Japanese market on July 31st of last year, the Kenichiro Takaki produced title has now been officially delayed a year, getting bumped from its most recent June 25th release date to its new release date of July 30th. Are you guys still interested in IAVT Colorful after all these delays? I hope so, as anything from Senran Kagura's producer is bound to be interesting.
Oh yeah. Alright, next up. EA has made a big splash with the announcement of adding female players to FIFA 16. What they didn't mention was a version of the game for the PlayStation Vita. When Pocket Gamer reached out to EA for clarification, they were informed that FIFA 16 would not be coming to the Vita, not even in a legacy version. The FIFA series has had a rocky reputation on the Vita since the very first installment. The original FIFA for the Vita was panned by many for using the 2011 engine and tweaking the team rosters to make it a 2012 game. Little did we know at the time that it would be the best we'd ever get. FIFA 13 and FIFA 14 were merely copies of that original game with the roster updates and music track changes. EA branded them Legacy Editions. Things changed in FIFA 15 when the online functionality was stripped out. This proved to be an indication of things to come. Fortunately, Vita owners won't have to suffer alone, as EA has also revealed that FIFA 16 will also not be coming to the Nintendo 3DS or the Wii U either. FIFA was once a staple game that could be found on every platform in existence, but that has all changed. The versions for the PlayStation 2 and PSP were only recently dropped. But it seems that with FIFA 16, EA is being more selective with which platforms they release on. Boo, EA, you guys suck. Just gonna say that.
Yeah, but do you really need another Legacy edition? That's the thing.
We don't, but
Ugh,
it's
stupid EA.
they literally just need to hire a team that focuses on the mobile platforms, and they could be making bank because they're not selling well because people are smart enough to realize that it's just copy and paste. So
Yep.
it's EA's fault, not the Vita community.
Boo EA.
They suck. Anyways, moving on. Tetris Ultimate was announced for the PlayStation Vita at E3 in 2014 and was initially said to have a fall release date, but as the year came and went, we were still left without a game. Now, however, we know that Tetris Ultimate has dropped this week, both digitally and physically. Tetris Ultimate brings 6 new game modes, including Marathon, Ultra, Endless, Sprint, Battle, and Power-Up Battle. It will also feature a number of multiplayer modes where up to 4 players can play against each other or team up to take on new challengers. Tetris Ultimate is listed at $29.99 for the retail version and $14.99 for the digital version, and in case you were wondering, it is not cross-buy. Still, it's Tetris to go, so why not pick it up? And next up, Colin recently brought you news on the site that Loot Interactive was bringing Back to Bed to the Vita, but now we can confirm, thanks to Click Indie, that they are actually planning on bringing 3 titles to the Vita. Click Indie grabbed an exclusive interview with Loot Interactive's managing director, David Sterling, who explained that the studio was pursuing a new initiative as a publisher of diverse indie titles. He told the website, quote, "When you take a look at our titles, you'll see a diverse group of games coming out. Some are a little more casual and some are very difficult, but they are all great games," end quote. Whispering Willows, in addition to Back to Bed, Loot Interactive will be bringing Whispering Willows, developed by Nightlight Interactive. It is a beautiful 2D adventure game that tells a horror-themed story from the perspective of a female protagonist with hand-painted artwork and a haunting soundtrack. Sterling describes it as a living story and says that it's about the decisions you make and the discovery of the story. Also, Velocibox, it's a weird game name. They also confirmed that they were working on that game. Developed by Sean Beck Games, the game is described as an unforgivingly tough, endless runner game that challenges players to safely guide a speeding box through an increasingly diabolical obstacle course. So it kind of sounds like the Impossible game. Somewhat. Anyways, one of the most challenging games that I've not only played but ever seen, Sterling told Click Indie. It challenges physically because you're always in a fast twitch, but it also challenges mentally on a whole different level. Click Indie will soon be publishing a full interview with Loot Interactive, so if these titles look interesting to you, be sure to check them out. We don't have any more information on these titles at this time, other than they will be playable at this year's E3, will feature cross-buy and play with the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 3 versions, and will be out before autumn.
Alright, final stretch, guys. Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, the spiritual successor to the Castlevania series, could make its way to Vita if it manages to reach a $3.5 million stretch goal on Kickstarter. Created by Koji Igarashi, who was the original creator of the Castlevania series, Bloodstained Ritual of the Night launched on Kickstarter in early May 2015 and has since been a massive success and has currently been funded for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC, and Wii U. So, should the stretch goal be met, the port will be handled by Armature Studios, who are no strangers to the Vita, having previously brought Batman Arkham Origins Blackgate and Metal Gear Solid HD Collection to the handheld. They had the following to say regarding the potential Vita version. Quote, "We at Armature thank you so much for funding the Wii U version of Bloodstained. Now we have one more surprise for you. If Bloodstained makes it 3.5 million, we will also be providing a PlayStation Vita version of the game. That's right, the Ultimate Vania game is going to make it back to a handheld platform. And don't worry, this won't mean a diminished experience on the Wii U. In fact, with both platforms having touchscreens, it'll probably mean more for both. We'll also be working with the development team on the PlayStation 4 version to see what we can do to make both platforms complement each other. We're especially grateful to be able to help out on this, as most of Armature's games have been released on the PlayStation Vita. That would be Metal Gear Solid HD Collection, Batman Arkham Origins, Blackgate, Injustice, and The Unfinished Swan, in case you're counting. Our team knows the PlayStation Vita platform inside and out, and will do it justice as we bring you Bloodstained, running on UE4 to the PlayStation Vita. Help us bring Bloodstained where Vania games belong, your hands. If you're interested in funding that Kickstarter campaign, there's a link to it on our site, and yeah, looks good, so I'd get at it. Moving on, the next game in the Genkai Toki series of games has been announced, and this one is very much as lewd as the last one. Moro Crystal is being developed by Compile Heart, and whereby in previous installments of the series you've been searching for pants, in this game the quest is switched up, and now you're on the search for bras. The story revolves around a quest whereby the panties of hope and the bra of eternal darkness have gone missing. Players will take control of Xenox, who is described as a fortunate lecher, and will be accompanied by a character by the name of Autumn. Seriously, we're not making this one up. The game is slated for release in Japan this winter, and I'm sure we'll be hearing plenty more about it before then. And the last bit of news. Our release window has been announced for Tokyo Ghoul Jail. By word of Bandai Namco, the RPG centering around a fresh new main character, Ryo, and his quest to uncover the secrets behind his brother's kidnapper will launch this fall in Japan. A new trailer for Jail can be seen on the site if you're interested, but that's all the news. So there you have it.
Oh man, so much news.
There was a lot of news, but,
we got through it.
Just goes to show you that there's always something going on with Vita.
Yeah, people say it's dead, and we just had 24 pieces of news to talk about.
And I cut some out, so yeah, lots to talk about, Tyler.
Oh yes.
Anywho, speaking of games we just talked about, let's move on to talking points and announced or released games we're looking forward to from the week. So what looks good, Tyler?
So that new Hyperdimension game, the Neptune vs. Zombie Army one, that one sounds really cool. I don't know why that I am just now thinking of it being cool, but I don't know, like reading the story I was like, I might actually like that, but I need to know more, obviously. Also, Assault Android Cactus, that looks really interesting. Although I don't know if they're going to have online multiplayer, I can't remember if I heard that right. But if they don't, I'm going to be very disappointed, because it looks like a game like that it's developed around multiplayer. And that's the one thing I really hate, like when indie developers are like, we made this game and it's all about multiplayer, but the Vita's getting it with no multiplayer. It's like, what's the point of bringing your game if you design it around that? But I could be wrong, so I'm not going to give hate right away unless I'm right. But I think I heard it right, that there's no multiplayer for that game. But I really hope there is, because it looks awesome. It's like that other game I was telling you about, that Moon Hunters game. If you remember me talking to you about that, Kyle?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that Kickstarter game. I backed it and everything, and then they're saying that the Vita is not going to have multiplayer, and it's like the main front page is like a co-op adventure game, blah blah blah. It's like, what?
Boo.
Anyways, sorry, I'm getting sidetracked here. There's just some stuff that irritates me. Anyways, that One Piece Pirate Warriors 3, I'm excited for that. Corpse Party Blood Drive, oh yeah. There's just a list here. Also, Persona 4 Dancing All Night. That Tokyo Ghoul game, I want to know more about it. I'd like to see some gameplay for sure, and I probably should watch the anime before I play the game.
Yes, you really should. So, even though it's probably not directly connected, the anime is.
Well, okay, so I was reading something, and it says it takes place after a blah 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 event, and I was like, that sounds like something that happened in the anime. Now I want to know what the event was.
So, yeah, You should watch it anyway. It's probably one of the better animes out there.
Yeah, and I'm sure the game would do some type of, what's the word I'm looking for? Like it would mention stuff within the anime, and I'd be like,
Some sort of tie-in. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I
And
imagine so. Even though they've used a different protagonist, yes.
right, I'm assuming they'd still use some sort of tie-in, or at least a character that's familiar with the anime, and I'd be like, who the fuck is this guy?
Probably.
So I think it'd just be for the best that I watch the anime before playing the game.
You should watch all the anime, Tyler.
All
the
of it.
anime.
What else? What else am I excited for? Civilization Revolution. I keep saying Revolution. Revolution 2, if that's real, I'm assuming it is because it got rated. I like these types of games, and I'd love to give it a shot. And the Vita's like my main platform, so bring the games. And then I think that's about it from what we talked about in the news, unless I'm missing something. But yeah. What about you, Kyle?
There's lots, Tyler.
Oh boy.
There's just lots.
I'll buckle up.
You do that. So of course, Sword Art Online Lost Song that got announced, and we talked a bit about that last week. But yeah, super excited for that shit. Can't wait. Also, I know it's a Tome, but Nor 9 Bar Commons kind of has me interested, so I'm kind of watching that one as well. That Back to Bed game, I really don't know shit all about it other than what I read there. Like, I didn't even really pay attention to the article when it went up, like what the pictures look like, or if there were pictures actually. But it sounds interesting, so it might be something I'd pick up depending on the price and, you know, other sorts of variables, but I've got my eye on it. Also, Tokyo Dark, I know it's not officially coming yet. It's, you know, pending PC sales and all that crap. But that one looks interesting as well. And actually, the main character kind of reminded me of somebody from Tokyo Ghoul. So, yeah, you should have to watch that and find out there, Tyler. Also, I always hear about these Trails games, and if, you know, some came over here and it wasn't, you know, the middle of a series like they apparently are trying to do, I would, you know, try my hand at it. So kind of got my eye on that as well, especially with Xseed registering that domain. Hyperdimension, Neptunia Rebirth 3, of course, I keep saying I need to play these games, and I do, so kind of have my eye on that as well. What else do we have here? One Piece. I still gotta play Unlimited World Red, but, you know, if I enjoy that, I imagine Pirate Warriors 3 would be on my radar as well. Corpse Party Blood Drive. See, I don't know, because I don't really want to play the last game in a series without playing the other ones, so I kind of have to figure out how the hell to get my hands on those first two, or like some sort of, you know, something to figure out what the hell's going on, because I hate going into things and not knowing what's going on. So I got my eye on that, but I'm kind of wary. I hope IAVT Colorful comes over here, but seeing as how it was delayed a year, it might be a long time until I ever hear about that. As we said about Tetris, I'm super interested in that, although they don't have any of the features or the price point I want, so waiting. And that Moero Crystal game, I don't know. I really liked Monster Mon Piece, I gotta say. I really liked it. Like, it was an awesome game, and every once in a while I still pick it up and play some card, you know, games through that. But Mo Chronicle really didn't look all that great to me, and if this is kind of more of the same, like, I really don't know what the hell is going on, because this has just been recently announced, then I'm probably not in. But if it's, I don't know, if it's got good gameplay and is more of a style I would like, then maybe I'll play it. But kind of wary about that one, but keeping my eye on it anyway. And then, of course, there's all the Bandai Namco games and Senran Kagura related stuff that I would like that hasn't made its way over here.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, lots of games, Tyler. I want kind of at least half of everything.
The list just keeps growing every second.
Pretty much.
Well, all right. Let's move on to the next thing we got here, Kyle. What's up? What's going on here? State
All
of the
right, so
Vita?
this next thing is kind of a touch on a bunch of things and kind of also a touch on an article I just wrote. I just wrote an article called "Rumors of My Demise Have Been Greatly Exaggerated Again," and basically it goes into the whole what I have coined the legacy console debacle. This whole bullshit with Andrew House making an offhand sort of comment that he maybe should have thought out first before saying it, because it's the wording that really gets us, and people kind of jumping on this misconception and blowing it all out of proportion. So if you're interested in what's actually going on with this whole legacy platform thing, read up on my article, because it tells you the way it is with some facts instead of people not knowing what the hell they're talking about and just writing articles, which seems to be the thing that's going on. And also it touches on, the state of the Vita. We go over the fact that there's 350 unique Vita native titles. That's not PSP, PS1, PS Minis, PS Mobile, any of that junk, available in every region. That's no crossover. That's something you can get in your own backyard. There's over 250 announced titles that are coming to Vita. 180 plus of those currently announced for the West, and we get a lot of the shit that Japan gets later anyway, so most of those will be coming too. So, the Vita is not dead. The Vita is not dying. The Vita is not even close to done. There's almost as many announced titles as there are available titles in each of these regions. And, yeah. We still got a long ride to ride this bitch out. And it ain't going anywhere. So the Vita lives. Get over it. Go read all my facts for any naysayers. And yeah.
There you go.
What do you think about all that, Tyler?
Yeah.
Did you read my article?
I haven't sadly had the chance. With all that phone shit I was talking about earlier, I've literally just been away from technology other than the phone. So I definitely am going to get into it.
It's a good read. Lots of facts. I know a lot of people like to speculate and pull bullshit, things that they reference that they don't quote or anything out of everywhere. But these are facts. This is stuff that I can prove, and, logic wins over dumbassery. That's all I can say.
Yeah. Well, I look forward to reading it, as should you people. Go check it out. Well, all right. So we just got the listener mail up, right?
Absolutely.
So would you like to take the first one? Or would you like me to?
Nah, you go ahead.
Alrighty. So first we got an email from Jonathan Fogarty, and he has a couple questions here. So first question, do you think that we will ever be able to play PlayStation 2 games on our Vitas? I can't stand the DS ports of Lego games. I think the Vita deserves better. Thank you. Thanks for your time. So, Kyle, weigh in.
All right. So basically, no. I don't think you're going to be able to play PlayStation 2 games on your Vita because of the fact that they can't be emulated without something that's ridiculously overpowered compared to what you're emulating. So really, they could do it, but you would need an expert coder, and then even then, I don't think all games would work as they're supposed to, because let's face it, not all the games work as they're supposed to, even on the PlayStation 2.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Sadly, I don't see it ever happening. I guess the only way I could really see it being plausible would be through PlayStation Now. And then that would just be streaming. It wouldn't be like you're actually, playing it whenever you want. It's only when you have the internets to stream it. So, yeah. Sadly, I don't see that happening. Anyways, yeah. Next question here. He says, I saw on Vita Boy's YouTube channel saying that there was a leak that Call of Duty Zombies is coming to the Vita. Plus, Civilization Revolution. I said it again! Revolution 2 is officially headed to the Vita. Do you know if these stories are true? Thanks for your time. Kyle. Have at it.
All right. So I don't want to harp on other people, but maybe it might be a good idea that you should only check the Vita Lounge for news. Anywho, Call of Duty Zombies coming to the Vita? No. I haven't heard anything to that effect, and I'm pretty fucking up on my shit compared to most of the people. So I think if it was happening, I would know about it, and it's not anywhere in this brain of mine. So no. As for Civilization Revolution 2, officially, no. A PEGI listing is not official. These boards and bullcrap make mistakes. Holy crap, neighbor.
Yell at him.
Well, I have to open my window for that because he's being ridiculously loud. Yeah, so anyway, what was I saying?
PEGI systems
sometimes
get things wrong.
Right. So PEGI is a ratings board and not, an official announcement or PR company, and even those get things wrong sometimes. But at this point, we can say for sure that it has been rated by PEGI and it says Vita, but that doesn't mean it's coming to Vita or that they're talking about that. Or pretty much anything, really, until we see something that kind of corroborates that, whether it's, an Amazon listing or something, or another board rating it, or anything, really. I wouldn't put too much stock in it. We've seen other things be rated for Vita and never, ever, ever show up, or even get a hint of showing up, so yeah, I don't think it's necessarily officially headed to. Do I think it's real? Yeah, probably. But that Call of Duty Zombies thing is not.
Yeah. I would definitely say that the Civilization Revolution one is definitely a much better chance of being real. I actually did watch the video just to see, because I giggled, and I stopped watching after a couple seconds because I was just like, that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Because all they say is that they have a leaked image of box art for Call of Duty Zombies, and every kid can buy fucking Photoshop and put Call of Duty and write zombies on it and say it's real. So, if it is, then cool. They broke a very awesome story, because I would kill for Call of Duty Zombies on the Vita. And yeah, but if it's real, why the hell is no one else talking about it? And I'm sure that this would be crazy news if it was real. So I'm not seeing that being true at all. But that's just my personal opinion. But yeah, thanks for the question. We got another one here. He says, I know that this is a long shot, but do you think we will be able to play Disney Infinity 3.0 on our Vita? Thanks for your time. Kyle?
Yeah, this one I'm not sure about. I think really we're gonna have to wait and see kind of what the adoption of the actual game is on Vita for 2.0. I think it's kind of is it gonna be bought enough to be worthwhile to do another one? Because I know that the people who did the Vita version of 2.0 are now working on the PS4 version of 3.0. So if they finish that and it's worthwhile to do, I'm sure they could go back and port 2.0 to Vita, or port 3.0 to Vita, I'm sorry. But as for right now, I don't know, and I'm gonna leave it at that. What do you think, Tyler?
Well, I think this is going to be one of the times where you and I are switched on this. I don't think it's actually going to happen at all. Sadly, I'm going to be that guy. 2.0 runs okay. It has its moments where it's really good, and then it has its moments where it's really bad. The Vita version of 2.0 really, it does have that unique figure, the Black Suit Spider-Man, that you can only get through the Vita version. So, I mean, is that enough to sell enough copies to where it's successful? I don't know. They didn't advertise it really anywhere, so does anyone really know about it that's not a Vita owner? I'm sure a handful of people are, but not enough to make it fly off the shelves like crazy, so I don't know. It's, for me, I think it's going to be like a 5% chance of it coming. Very low. But I would love to be proven wrong, because Star Wars, Disney, Infinity 3.0, it looks awesome. I'd love to have that on the Vita. But yeah. Anyways, sorry for being the downer. Thanks, Jonathan, for your email. Really appreciate it. Let's head on to the next one, Kyle. What do we got?
All right, so this one's a two-part kind of question too. This one's from Lorenzo Samaniego at ZO Samaniego, ZOSAMANIEGO, and they say, what are your top 3 RPGs you would recommend that are playable on Vita? What do you think, Tyler?
I guess I probably should have read this question before we started recording, but definitely Persona 4 Golden. That's a must. I mean, if you own a Vita and you don't own I almost said Golden Abyss. If you don't own Persona 4 Golden, you're crazy. Get that game. It is amazing. For the other 2, oh man, this is a tough one. I would say Final Fantasy X HD. It's a really great RPG from back in the PS2 era. If you've never played it, then I would highly suggest running through it. But if you've already beaten it and you loved it, then maybe not. It's really kind of iffy on there. I mean, I loved it. I played it on the PS2, and I love it on the Vita. But yeah, it's a great one. What else? This is where it gets tough. There's a lot of them. I'm struggling here, Kyle. I think I'm gonna go with... Oh man, this is just hurting my brain. I'm gonna go with Sword Art Online Hollow Fragment. Even if you haven't watched the anime, which I highly suggest you do, because it takes place after a certain point in the anime, and goes its own way, so you might be confused. It's just a great game, and it is really long. So if you are looking to play one game for a long time and get your bang for your buck, this is going to be the game. Kyle, how long have we had this game? How many hours have we put in, do you think?
I have no idea. Well over 100, easy.
And there's still hours and hours of stuff we haven't played. And that's not... I don't think either of us have even played the DLC that came free, by the way. Right? Have you played any of the DLC?
I have not.
And isn't that like an added 20 hours or something like that they said?
I have no idea how much it adds, but I know it adds quite a bit, yeah.
I recall hearing 20 plus hours of added content, but I can't remember. That could just be me pulling numbers out of my ass. But anyways, they added a free DLC thing that just added a lot of stuff, and we haven't even touched it yet. So, I mean, there you go. That game is massive, so check that one out. Kyle, what about you? What are your 3?
Alright, so obviously number 1 is Persona 4 Golden. A lot of people bought their Vitas for this game, and if I had known about it and known what it was and known that I would like it, I probably would have done the same thing. Also, I think I'm going to go with number 2 being Soul Sacrifice Delta. The original was good, but Delta was better, and it pretty much improved on the original in every frigging way, and there's tons of content, and yeah, it was just an enjoyable game. So, I mean, if you like action RPGs, that's one of the better ones on Vita for sure. And number 3, just because I'm going to go with Senran Kagura Shinobi Versus. There's other games that I could have mentioned, like Ease Memories of Celceta, but
That's one I was thinking about as
nobody really backs the boobs, so here I am.
well. I mean, there's plenty of games that I wanted to mention too. Like, I know you kind of didn't care for it too much, but Tales of Hearts R, it's a fun game. I enjoyed it. I still need to play more of it. Also, One Piece Unlimited World Red, another game I really need to jump into. So there's a lot of RPGs on the Vita that are great games. So you got your hands full. Not just with boobs, but other games. Right, Kyle?
Indeed.
Wait, I don't know if this counts. Do you count Gravity Rush as an RPG?
It kind of is. It's kind of an RPG, 3D platformer, something in there.
I would suggest that one as well. Gravity Rush. Pick it up. You level up your character. You complete missions. RPG. Bam.
That's right. A lot of games have RPG elements. That's one of them.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to the second question from Lorenzo. It is, what are your best and worst memories of working on the first issue of the TVL magazine? So, I don't know, what did you work on for the first issue, Tyler? And I forget exactly who has what and where.
Well, I didn't have much other than, I think the first, or not first, my only review in it, which was Helldivers, so I know that
Ah, right. So there you go. How was working on Helldivers, Tyler?
Oh, man. Well, I loved the game. If you read my review, I gave it a really high score. But man, writing that review just, I don't know what it was, but
Yeah, right in that review, Tyler.
yeah, Kyle had fun editing that wonderful piece of literature.
Yeah.
So
kind of.
That might be Kyle's worst memory of the magazine. Is just editing that review.
No, I'm sure there was a worse review that I had to edit than that.
Also, I want to jump back. I feel really bad because we keep mentioning all these RPGs. I feel like Freedom War should be added in there as well. I don't know why I didn't think of that. Just saying.
There's just too many, Tyler.
There is.
Picking three is hard.
All right,
that's why I picked the ones I did.
All right, backing up. Freedom Wars, Persona 4 Golden, and Sword Art Online Hollow Fragment. Bam. All right. Anyways, best worst memories. So yeah, I would say also the reception. It's not really working on it, but just after it was launched and everything, just seeing all the people that were enjoying it and talking about it and sharing it, it was just awesome to see all of Paul's work and oh man, I'm blanking on his name. Joe. How do you say his name?
Jonathan.
Jonathan? That's his name?
I believe so, yes.
Alright. Well, yeah. All their work paying off and whatnot. So, I mean, it's just awesome to be a part of that. Even though I don't have a huge part in it, it's still awesome to see. I don't really know, other than that Helldivers review and the struggle of writing it, I don't think I have any bad memories of that first issue. What about you, Kyle?
Well, I probably edited 95% of the text in that magazine.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, I got lots of bad memories. Most of it you guys won't have experienced because you never saw any of those raw reviews. But, oh, man. It was some work, I'll tell you that much. I can't pick off the top of my head which review was the most pain in the ass to edit, but I'm sure there was some bad ones. My reviews, though, are always nice because I don't have to edit them. So that was probably the highlight of the magazine, my review going in there. And also, I didn't notice this until after, but it's also the center page. So
Ooh.
I'm the centerfold, you guys. So yeah, just working on it though. Like, I mean, doing anything for it is awesome. And I definitely wouldn't change the fact that I did anything for it. That's for sure. Even though those edits on some of those reviews were a bitch. But yeah, definitely big shout outs to Jonathan and Paul for their design work, because I pretty much, for the first issue anyway, just contributed edits and a couple of little design tips. So not too much me there other than the edits and the actual content that came from me, but you'll see a little bit more of a me touch on issue 2.
Well, all right. Thanks, Lorenzo, for your question. Let's move on to the next one, and it is by Simply Dan22 at Simply Dan22, spelled exactly how it sounds. Any thoughts on Civilization Revolutions 2 supposedly coming to Vita? There's a lot of this talk going on. People are excited. Kyle.
All right. So we already kind of mentioned this. So
yeah.
Any thoughts on it? Well, we don't know if it's 100% real yet, but if it is, then awesome for people who like that. I'm not really a fan myself, so I can't really put too many thoughts on the actual game, but yeah.
Yeah.
Tyler?
Yeah, we've already talked about a bit of it, so all of that, you already heard it. For me, I'm excited for it. I hope it's real, and when it's finally confirmed, if it ever does get confirmed, I'll be very excited and be picking it up day one. Woo woo! Let's hope it's good. I've heard that the game is mediocre, like it's above average, I think, if I remember correctly. But anyways, let's hope it transfers over well, if it is true, coming to the Vita. So there you go. Thanks, Simply Dan, for your question. Let's go to the next one. Kyle, what's up? What's next?
All right, so next up we have a sort of, actually it's not really a two-part question, it's just got 2 links in it. So this one's from Nonskippo at NONSCPO on Twitter, and they say, with the new rating board in place, do you believe that it could help or hurt chances for games from being ported or censored towards the West? And they link to a Niche Gamer article on the fact that Saudi Arabia enacts a new rating system and will also seek ban on certain games. Then they say, or Nonskippo says, I think it's a very relevant question given what the Saudi prince wants to do with the game industry. And he links to a Polygon.com article about how this Saudi prince is trying to use video games to fuel some sort of intellectual renaissance in the Middle East. And very long article there about just kind of bringing video games kind of to the people as an art kind of culture thing. And I guess he kind of really steps in because of the fact that a lot of things are portrayed incorrectly and just kind of a whole bunch of different things. So it's a very interesting article. Did you read it, Tyler? I don't know if you did.
No, I didn't get a chance to read it, sadly. I probably should have checked the questions before I got on here tonight.
Absolutely. Nonskippo likes to throw those links at us, so if you ever see his name, you can almost be sure there's a link.
So that's my bad. I apologize, Nonskippo, ahead of time for not being fully prepared. But to answer the first portion of the question, will a new rating board in place hurt or help? I don't see how it really could, personally, because anything that's coming out from Japan already gets censored in a certain way, with those games like, what is it, that Mora Chronicles or whatever, with some of the images being edited out of the game. So I don't know how that would really affect having a new rating board other than, you know, that area in which the rating board is placed. But yeah, unless I'm missing something, Kyle, what do you think?
All right, so, all right, looking at just the rating board bit, ignoring the whole Saudi Prince angle because, well, I'll talk about that in a minute. But as far as just the new rating board itself, do I believe that it could help or hurt chances for that region? Like Tyler said, I don't think that, a ratings board popping up somewhere is going to have a huge effect on everywhere else unless, they're some sort of entertainment center, which I don't believe Saudi Arabia is. If, a new ratings board popped up in Japan or the US, maybe we might have a problem. But I think we're pretty safe with Saudi Arabia from getting our games at least censored or lower chances of them being ported, because Saudi Arabia can just now say, well, fuck that and not release it, and then we don't have to worry about them. So I think that might even make things easier to get over here, because now another place that might not want them can say, no, we don't, specifically want this here, and then everyone else gets it and they can just sit in their own censored world. But looking at that actual article on the new rating system and the ban on certain games, it also is a little bit alarming, because some of these games are games that I would not think would be banned, just because, they might be a little bit graphic, but there's way worse in other stuff. Stuff like Assassin's Creed 2, The Last of Us, Watch Dogs, The Order 1886, these games being banned there is kind of, I'm like, I don't know, a little bit taken aback. That's, I don't know, kind of odd, to say the least. And if they're banning that, what else could they ban? But seriously, like I said, I don't think it's going to be a huge, deal to anyone outside Saudi Arabia or anyone who picks up that rating system, because somebody else could, but I doubt it. Moving on to the look at the Saudi prince's, what he wants to do with the game industry. I really don't see a lot of these kind of things. Like I've heard a lot of people, say different things about, getting into the industry and making, stuff that's more real and educational, and, not necessarily educational in the fact that, teaches kids to ABCs, but true to fact. I don't see a lot of that stuff ever taking off, really. You hear about a little bit of it here and there, and you hear about, different stuff, like people going to schools and talking about games and blah, 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 and, different things that they've done to, make games more accessible and blah, blah, blah. But really, outside of little things like that, they don't gain a whole lot of traction anymore. It seems like the market is a global thing, with the internet being so prevalent as it is now. And when people, see something, they either know it's true or they don't, and they don't kind of look much farther than that. So for people looking for games that are realistic, is that going to matter anywhere other than Saudi Arabia and whoever this guy, kind of has power? Probably not much, because I don't see it really taking off. So, if you read the article, I read it, but I was doing other things, so I probably didn't get the full scope of it, and it was quite long, so that probably didn't help. But it's basically about portrayal and different things that kind of turn culture on its head in some places, and people look at kind of funny. So it's a good read, and it's inspiring that it would be something that might happen, but at the same time, I don't think, that's a method of something that's going to catch on much more than this person, pushes it to be with his power from where he is.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. But yeah, I really don't see this being a big deal to us.
Yeah.
Sorry to burst your bubble if that's what you're hoping, but yeah. So anyway, thanks Non-Skippo for your question. We always value your questions, and I will get on Tyler to read these articles at least as much as I do in the future. But yeah,
Wait, when did he send this question in? Do you know?
it was a recent one, so it was like during while you were at work
Uh,
period.
that's probably
But
why.
still, you should probably skim them at least before we start doing this
That is true.
podcast.
Or non-skippo, just tweet at me, be like, "Hey, I'm asking this question. Here's the link to the story I'm going to ask," and I'll be like, "Oh, all right, got it." Because I don't. Right when I get home, it's like, "All right, ready to podcast." It's I'm a pretty busy guy when I'm at work, but if I see that tweet, I'm like, "Ooh, I know what I got to do on a break." But anyways, thanks, non-skippo. Sorry, I can't be of more help with this full question here. But yeah, listening to what Kyle had to say, I would tend to agree with what Kyle has to say. So yeah, that's all our news, or not news. That's all our questions, right, Kyle?
Yes, it is.
No stragglers.
None that I see.
All right. Well, let's get on to the next thing. And sadly, we can't do guess that game anymore because Liam's busy, and meh. Maybe one day we'll do
So
it again.
that means I win, right, Tyler?
Officially, I guess yeah, unless he comes back. So right now, Kyle, you've won. Guess that game, 3-1.
There we go. So
Congratulations.
send all your hate mail to Liam. No. But yeah, I stomped him, so we'll have to make him do something horrible one of these
Yeah.
days.
Didn't we say he was gonna wear a dress or something?
Something like that.
What was
so we'll have to bust it out. I'm sure it was in one of our casts.
Oh, it was.
I don't remember specifically, but I just remember it was something horrible.
Someone asked us a question about wearing something, and then that's when we got on the whole thing about it.
We'll make Liam wear all sorts of horrible things, don't worry.
Yeah. All right. Anyways, it's time for check this out, and it's me, and I didn't even decide of anything. I'm just terrible today, Kyle.
Tyler, do I need to replace you or what?
Gasp. Let me see the weekly deals. Is there anything on sale right now? Oh man,
Tyler, looking through the weekly deals now.
there is nothing. Nothing.
Maybe I'm gonna have to build another cyborg and just, talk to a copy of myself because Tyler doesn't seem to be ready.
Well,
Well,
I blame Liam.
I blame Tyler.
Well,
I think Liam blames Tyler, and since I won, my vote counts more than his anyway, and so it's still you.
well, whatever. I figured one out. It's not on sale. It's just a fun game. Or if you could Tainted Bloodlines. It's an RPG. By the way, Lorenzo, in case you were wondering. That is a fun game. It's only $20. There's some recent DLC I think that just came out on it. I think no, not DLC. There's a theme actually that just released for it. But yeah, it's a fun turn-based RPG. Similar, somewhat, very not like super similar, but it has the same battle style I would say as a Final Fantasy game. But yeah, it's really weird. You basically have family that after a certain amount of time they die, and you have to make children before they die to take over, and they inherit some of your abilities and skills and strengths and weaknesses and stuff like that, and you continue going down the story as long as you can and hope you make it. It's a fun little game that I really would need to play more of, but that list just keeps on growing, and I don't think Kyle's played the game yet, right, Kyle?
I have not, but it is on my radar, Tyler. It's
Well,
one of those games I keep meaning to get to, but games, Tyler, games everywhere.
wait for it to go on sale or something. Nope, just kidding. You got to check it out. Kyle, buy it now.
If I had $20, I would, Tyler.
Oh, well, all right. If you have $20, people, go pick that game up. It's a fun little game. And it's not that little. I keep saying little, but it is a big game. So
That's your favorite thing to say about games. It's a fun little game, Tyler.
yep.
I noticed that actually.
That's
but
right.
Anyway.
But all right, let's go. Let's head on to the threads to check out. We've got some fun little threads to check out.
All right. First little thread is concerning upcoming physical releases. So Billy Bobbine on the forum has posted a thread detailing physical releases that are coming to Europe or the US, which is also North America, I guess. So if you're wondering what's physical that's coming out that you need to get or pre-order or whatever because it's physical edition and you need it and you're a collector and you're like that, which some people are, and awesome for them, check out his thread on the forum. It's in PlayStation Vita Games, and it's called Upcoming Physical Releases. Also, I probably should have talked about this last week because it was actually up last week, but I don't think I did, so I'll cover it now. We have a recent addition in sections to our PlayStation Vita kind of area in our forum, and that's the PlayStation TV discussion section. I've covered PlayStation Vita games that play on PlayStation TV. However, member Tectoro on the forum has covered PlayStation TV PS1 Classics, PSP, and Minis in one list. So if you're interested in finding out what'll play on your PlayStation TV and it's not a PlayStation Vita game, check out his list because I believe he has a pretty complete North American list and he's looking to fill out his European list, which I don't know if he's started yet, but there's a reserved spot there for one. So if you're looking to help him out and get that list, up to date and stuff, I'm sure he could use it. And if you're interested in finding out what's compatible, the North American list is up. So, yeah, jump in, find out. PlayStation TV all the way, baby.
Well, there you go. Check out those threads. Well, all right, Kyle. That was episode 78 of the VitaCast. I'm tired. I have to get up early. I have to deal with stupid Verizon.
I think Verizon should sponsor this podcast for being such dicks. Don't you, Tyler?
Oh, that would be amazing.
So, Verizon, if you're listening, send us $5 million to the VitaCast. No. But yeah, definitely get that fixed because we need non-tired Tyler at our disposal.
Yep.
And not his little Vita games.
Well, let's get out of here, Kyle.
Alrighty.
So, you can find everything we talked about on this little website called thevitalounge.net. We have an email that you can send us questions. It's located at mediaservices@thevitalounge.net. Send us your questions, your comments, your concerns, and we'll talk about them. Also, we're on Twitter at the Vita Lounge. I'm at Mr. PS Vita Reviews. Kyle is at Teflon Tactics.
And just passed 1,000 followers. Oh yeah!
Everyone, unfollow him.
I'm far enough. I think away now that even if all the people who paid attention to Tyler unfollowed me, I'd be good.
Well, I'll feel bad if people actually start unfollowing you. But anyways, congratulations, Kyle, for hitting that 1K mark.
Well, thank you.
We are also on Facebook. Just search the Vita Lounge. We are on YouTube, youtube.com/loungeplay. We post up lounge plays. We post up the VitaCast. Kyle posts up his previews for the month, which he just posted up, right?
Absolutely. There's an awesome June preview video up there for you guys. So if you're interested in what's coming out this month with some video to show you what the games actually are, check that out.
Well, there you go. Check it out. Subscribe to that and enjoy some videos. Also, the magazine, patreon.com/thevitalounge. We are working on a magazine, if you have not heard. It's an electronic magazine, but we also have limited physical editions. I don't know if we can still get the issue 2, right? Or is that still got a couple?
Issue 2 is closed. Any Patreon, whatever the hell they are, subscriptions.
Supporters, I guess.
Yes, supporters who jump on the bandwagon from here on out will be buying in for issue 3. So yeah, issue 2 is already kind of in the final stages and going to the press, so no more for you.
Wow, wow. Well, if you want issue 3, definitely hop on now. But of course, if you just want the electronic version, you will get issue 2. So hop onto that. We also have a forum. So go to thevitalounge.net/forum, sign up, join the conversation, introduce yourself, and talk about the Vita games and whatever you want. It's a fun little place to go to. Or hop on those threads that Kyle mentioned and help with those discussions. Anyways, we are on iTunes, we are on Podbean, we're also on Stitcher, YouTube, and via the direct download on the site. There's many places to get a hold of this podcast. So subscribe to us, rate us, let us know how we're doing. And that is the VitaCast, episode 78. We're out of here.
You're damn right we are.
Verizon sucks.